I had trouble. I don't know if it was trouble sleeping before, but I never really had like a set schedule. Um, Even though I did have a set schedule for my job. So I guess I knew at some point I needed to be out of my house by a time in order to get to work. Otherwise, who knows? But now I'm trying to sleep, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And the cat, the cat has a schedule.
Okay.
And so I am a crucial part of her daily routine. And she is letting it be known that she needs that routine.
Okay.
So someone needs to get up and pull back the curtains and crack a window for her so that she can smell the new day.
Okay.
Uh, um, they're all very healthy routines.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds valid right there.
Yeah, that does sound valid. The other part of it, which is she also needs to scratch all sides of the chair that she's not supposed to scratch, but she has completely destroyed. I don't know if that needs to be part of her routine. There's also the running back and forth and jumping into the tub and out of the tub.
Calisthenics. I don't know, Shaq.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pro
get
cat
it.
so
That's her
far.
workout. Yeah, I'll leave the door cracked. She can figure that out. But many times she misjudges and just smacks into the shower door. And then there's like the food thing, and I've got the food thing figured out a little bit. I leave enough before I go into my room to maybe sleep so that she won't bother me in the middle of the night. We are now closing our doors completely, and she's kind of learning, oh, okay, I can't just walk in here and walk on your head at 4 a.m, huh? All right. Um, so that's helpful, but that also means that come like 6:46, bitch, you need to be up and pulling open curtains. And sometimes it works and I'm like, all right. And then sometimes I just want to go back to sleep and I can't. So I'm yawning a lot today. And I think it's because she forced me up so early that I just said, screw it. And I did laundry. You know what I mean? Like she's making me be a better person, but I'm cursing under my breath the whole time.
Hey, it happens, Shaq. It happens.
Yeah.
I was dealing with the lack of sleep yesterday. Like
Mhm.
I took a nap for like an hour the day before at like 6 to 7 in the evening.
Okay.
And then I didn't sleep the whole night. So I was like, I didn't be productive. I got some work done. And by like 5, when everyone's coming back home, I had forgotten that this was the situation. So like I was feeling guilty because I was like, yeah, I still got stuff to do, but I want to go to bed right now. And I was talking shit to myself, like, yo, why you being lazy, yo? You know? Like,
Right.
like what's wrong
Not
with you?
why you've been up for 23 hours or whatever,
Yeah.
but instead it's
Like it took Gabby like mentioning, like, yo, she was like, I normally like, appreciate like the extra space every now and then, but it was weird, you weren't in bed at all yesterday. And I was like, I wasn't in bed yesterday. You right. Word. Like if she don't mention it, I'd have just felt like shit the whole evening.
oh wow.
and
Wow.
then I went guilt free and like went to bed early at like 8 o'clock because I was like, I needed that permission to go do that nap. It was necessary.
Well, I say always. I mean, I guess you are sharing a bed and a life with another person. So, because I think always give yourself permission to go back to bed. But if you can't, like, because you're working or whatever, it's that kind of thing. And I like a middle of the day nap.
Yeah.
Love it. It's fantastic. But in the middle of the day, I should be working. And sometimes my coworkers need to meet with me, and they keep scheduling these meetings for the middle of the day. And I can't just say, can we do that at 6:46 a.m. because that's when my cat gets me up. So can we schedule this for then so I can have my 1 to 3 free to go to sleep?
No?
No one's fallen for that yet. I don't understand. They have pets, but
low key, I've debated on like getting a job. If I ever got a job, it would be like one where I could work online, but the company's based in like another state. So like I could have that advantage. Like you know?
Based on their time.
Yeah, like I want to find like a time zone that syncs up with when I'm awake. And then for them, it's still 9 to 5, but yeah, I'm up here, it's 2 in the morning, I'm good, I'm happy. You know, this is when I'm
Right.
productive and it works out well. I feel like there's a way of working that out.
So you want to work for like a European company?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
They're like 5 hours ahead. I think Britain is 5 hours ahead.
Yeah, I worked with Britain. It was fantastic. They were like midday energy, and it was like 10:30 in the morning here. So I was like just starting my day, and they're like, "Yo, we getting it done." And I'm like, "Hell yeah, we are," you know. But I'm just getting breakfast. Best meetings of my life. I loved all of those. It was great.
I think my issue is, since I don't have like a regular schedule, I have no idea when I'm going to be awake for you. So you could schedule a meeting with me at the same time of day 2 days in a row. And one day you may get me just raring like, yep, I'm full of ideas and blah, blah, blah. And the next day it could literally be me, just a voice coming from underneath a blanket. That's all you're looking at on the screen. And it's like, I'm here and I'm with you and I support you in theory, but I cannot pull back this cover.
Will not happen. Yeah, I got like this organization I work with, and they schedule their meetings. The times are pretty eclectic because they got people everywhere, but they know I just woke up if I don't turn on the video on Zoom. Like they gonna get all baritone responses, one syllable, and just me going,
one
yeah.
syllable. Yeah. That's so funny.
Just a bunch of Biggie ad-libs. It just sounds over there in the background.
Yeah, I guess at work, if they don't see, I mean, I'll have my camera on for some of it, but if I turn the camera off, I am either yawning or I am laughing. Because I'm on mute at all times. But sometimes I'm just laughing at something happening in a meeting where someone has said something so ridiculous, and I'm like, Shalewa, you have to keep this job. So if you don't cut that camera off before you laugh, because there's one time where like the boss man said something that was so ridiculous that I just couldn't. I just cracked up, and like my sound, like I wasn't muted and the camera was on me, and my coworkers were like, I mean, we see what you find funny, but do you realize we can see and hear you? And I was like, yo, I gotta let this man know that he's being ridiculous right now. So I will absolutely laugh in his face.
I'm owning this one. Let's do it.
Yeah, this one, you got to give me this one. Normally you just get that picture of me.
Oh,
but
man.
this time, also my picture on Zoom is me with a t-shirt that says ATL ho.
Okay.
Which is fine for shows, but maybe not great for work. But I haven't switched it yet, so I don't know what to tell you. Just need to know. It's spelled in like a fake French way, so you have to like really look at it and say, all right, ATL, that's what that says, and is that a plural of hoes? Oh, no, that's just one hoe. It's like, yeah, ATL ho, put it together. That's who you got.
Amen.
And the look on my face is me as if I just said, come on, Shawty. You know what I mean? And that's my, I got to run out for a minute face.
I love it. I love
that's
it.
The picture that's up. So.
More people should embrace their personal lives on Zoom. I feel like that's the beauty of that. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy parent-teacher conferences now that they're on Zoom and we just all there together, and I get to see like 60 parents and they're in the workings and how they like survive, and it's beautiful. Like every meeting, at least one teacher is falling asleep.
Oh wow!
Like they're dealing with a lot. They need naps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cause I see it in their face. Like, yeah, cause I already know. Like it's been so consistent that this year by winter, I'd say I didn't do it the first meeting, but by the winter meetings, me and Gabby, like I would place bets with her. Like, yo, this teacher's gonna be the one that knocks out. Oh God. Like, yo, if your teacher fall asleep first, you got the dishes today. It was like that, child. Like every meeting, we was just calling somebody out.
Oh,
It's
no.
magical.
Oh, that scares me. I wonder if they fall asleep during class.
It's too much work, and now you removing the element of like of physical activity. So like if you
Right.
got 12 hours of responsibility in the living room, like your body is gonna tell you like, yo, look, this is where we sleep sometimes too. Like shut down.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, you cannot get too
yeah,
comfortable.
it's just too
'Cause
much.
I'm not comfortable at my, desk at work. It's not a comfortable chair.
Yeah.
It's broken and in a weird, but it keeps me up. And so, where I am in my house, it's just I'm sitting on a bench on a with a picnic table, a dark wood. I mean, I'm sure in the West Elm catalog, it had some other name, but what it is a picnic table and 2 picnic
Hey.
benches, and that's what I'm sitting on, and it does keep me from, falling asleep
Exactly.
because I'm not comfortable. Now, does my back hurt? Yes, of course, but you want me on my couch? You're not gonna get me on my couch, you're gonna get ATL ho. That's what you're getting on the couch.
I love it.
You're not gonna get full me.
Oh man, let's get into the news, Sha.
Alright.
This week, kicking off the news, unfortunately, we had shooting of Dante Wright. The officer who shot Dante Wright has resigned, according to the mayor. This is recent news, actually. Police officer accused of shooting and killing a black man in Minneapolis suburb during a traffic stop over the weekend has resigned. The resignation of Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Porter comes after a second night of protests rolled through the city with hundreds of demonstrators expressing anger at Dante Wright's death. Yeah, this is this comes after the mayor too, I believe, said that I do believe that the officer should be fired. So there's
Mhm.
like a lot of action around this. I wanted to touch on this for a few reasons, right? Like one, obviously, this is the actual news is happening. We normally try to avoid this stuff, and it brought up like an interesting discussion I've had with comics, where like I have an issue with like people that like go on stage and aren't funny. And well, I just have that issue in general, right? Like,
Right.
if
Yes.
you're consistently not funny, you shouldn't be on stage. Find that about yourself. Not everybody knows they're not funny. And you want to be funny. By all means, explore
Right.
that. But if you think that being like shocking is the same as being funny, like I disagree with that heavily. And I feel like there's people that go on stage just to say like offensive things. By the same token, I do agree that like comedy has like a responsibility to talk about things that are awkward and difficult, right?
Right.
And I feel like like the phrase too soon, I feel like people use it as a bailout of a joke. Like, oh, I don't got a joke, so I'm gonna just say too soon at the end of it because what I said
Mhm.
was just a harsh statement. But it created a weird philosophy for me where like I've come to think that that's what that's what the comedian's job is. A comic is supposed to figure out how to make a topic funny, because
Mhm.
once we figure out how it's funny, it's no longer too soon. And in turn, everyone else can have a real discussion about it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I hear you. What do you say to those who will still think it's too soon, even if you were able to find a funny way to broach the topic?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was stuck with. Like I feel like there
Mhm.
are gonna be people that every topic is too soon for you. And I think
Right.
you're allowed that. Like you're allowed to say, "Hey, this hurts me. I don't want to broach that topic with a group of people." For those people, there's other solutions, right? Maybe if it's like a personal matter, you might need therapy, or you might need. And
Wait, you went straight to
no,
therapy?
well, I'm just trying to. Yeah, I'm genuinely like just trying to think through the options, but like I'm not saying it like a diss to them. It's like
Right.
like there are issues that like people want to joke about on stage, and the reason that it bothers you is because you have a personal connection with that topic. So I
Right.
do
Right.
think that like if the if 95% of the room laughs, that means I got it right. But you are allowed to be in the 5% that doesn't agree with laughing about it. Like, I don't think that you
Right.
not laughing means you're wrong. But it might
Uh-huh.
mean that, like, hey, like, maybe I need to get okay with this topic. Is that, I don't know. Am I wrong? I'm trying.
Well, I mean, all of that is, I don't disagree with that, but I think the leap to therapy for it is kind of
Oh, yeah,
funny to
that's
me.
fair. That's fair.
In that, maybe there's something deeper that's keeping you from laughing, or maybe it's just like a topic that they never found funny.
Fair.
There are a lot of topics that, too soon or not, that I will always find funny or I will never find
Right.
funny. And you don't know where I see people on Twitter all the time getting in jokes, and then someone tells a joke from a different angle about the same
Yeah.
thing, and then other people are like, oh no, man, you went too far. And it's like, no, he just turned on this street while y'all were going down that
Right,
street.
right.
And so it's, that is kind of tough to figure out. I see, since we know a lot of comedians and everyone wants to rush to be the first one
Right.
with a joke, whether or not it's funny is, who knows, but they want to be the first one. So they're coming in with their, a little weak sauce of a hot take, right? Because they're trying to be first.
Right, right.
And I would, I wouldn't want, if I think if the joke is good enough, you can make it 3 days later.
Yeah.
You don't have to make it within the first 30 minutes. If you think of something and you don't tweet it out, and then you like can spend time maybe to refine it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. And you tweet it out like 3 days later, people will be like, "Oh, yes, right," because they'll still know what you're talking about. The news is moving fast, but not that fast.
Right, right.
We still, you know what I mean? You can watch something or listen to something topical and know what they were talking about, even if it didn't happen right the second that you're listening to it.
That's real.
And so I think, there are some comedians who could work on that, but they don't want to. They want to be the first to have the thing that gets a reaction, maybe not laughter, but a reaction.
Right.
And so, which they will then maybe twist into laughter in their heads. There's a lot of delusion that comes into doing comedy. And, you just got to try to work that power however you can. This has been like tough. This particular story, of course, is tough. Most stories like this are tough. The things that I find, if I find anything funny, it's the same way as when you're at a funeral and you find something funny. Right. And it's like, well, everyone here seems sad, so I probably can't say it. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, I don't know if this is even so it's the only thing that I even thought of that brought any sort of lightness was I didn't even think about, and it's not light at all, was how the young man was presumably pulled over because of air fresheners hanging from his rearview mirror. Had you ever been told about that, not to do that?
No, I didn't know it was a thing.
I've heard in recent years that it's a thing, but when I started driving, I was not told that. And not only did I have air fresheners hanging from my rearview mirror all the time, I had a tiny disco globe, like Christmas tree ornament that was just a tiny disco globe. I had like 2 of those hanging from my. So when the sun would hit those, that's just shards of light shining out of my car, blinding other people. And the car at that time was a red Honda Prelude. So already I'm driving a red car, which, as we all know, is, quote, the fastest color, end quote. So if you're driving a red car, you will be pulled over more than driving any other car. So I already got a red car, and I got 2 disco globes hanging from it. And I mean, I was pulled over mostly for the red carness. No one ever mentioned the disco globes. And so I didn't even know about that. So I was just like, damn, I'm driving around Metro Atlanta, blinded motherfuckers. They're pulling me over because I'm also running stop signs.
See, like, I looked, if you saw my car when I was like from age 19 on, when I got the 01 Camry, after I was driving that, if you saw the car from afar, you would just think, oh, that's no big deal. It's just a regular sedan. And then as you got closer, you would think I was a criminal. Like, it looked progressively shadier the more you investigate it. And it wasn't anything shady. It's just I made a lot of hood decisions. Like I hung like baby Timberlands off of the Reggie America. I thought it was cool. I gave my kid brother his first Timbs when he outgrew them. I put them on the thing. So I had like 2 little size 2 booty Timbs.
Wow.
Hanging on the car.
Gastor. Wow.
But I was like the thug with the heart of gold. Like if the cops pulled me over, you know what I mean? So like I was like if the cops like would see me, it was because it was always like 2 a.m, 3 a.m. I was coming back from like parties, but it looked like I was out doing stuff, and I'm like, listen, but this is what I work for. You know, I could point to the little mirror, so they would let me rock. They like understood.
Oh no!
I gotta feed the kid that goes into these things, you know, and they would understand. So it was cool. But
oh wow,
yeah. And in retrospect, you know, my brother grew to be 6'5". Like even his baby Tims was huge. Like
they were still pretty big.
They were definitely like blocking my way. So I hear you. I couldn't see anybody on the right side of my car, like at all.
Well, that's the rest of the car. That's everything else. That's a hell of a blind spot.
And it like swung. So like, you know, you driving, you can't see a solid. Yeah, that should have been like, you know, mentioned to me. But nah, they would just always tell me, hey, your tints is too dark. So
they
brought that little like clamp thing, and they would put it on the rear view, on the mirrors, on the cars, on the car door, and they would be like, yeah, these are too dark. And I was like, all right. And they would be like, all right, you should get that change. And that was it. That's all we talked. That's all that would happen. I would never get a ticket. We would have a discussion about it.
You'd point at your son, your fake son's shoes.
That's it.
And then they let you go.
Nobody ever said nothing to me. It was good money. Because it was the other part. I bought the car off my uncle, and my uncle's son-in-law is a cop. So like I had that.
Oh, you had all the stickers.
I had the stickers, but they were all old. So I had like a PBA card from like 5 years ago. You know, so I would tell them the whole story. I was like, yo, listen, man, because they will always pull me over, and I was like, listen, I ain't gonna do the whole PBA thing. I don't even know, homie. You know, but I got the call from them. So wouldn't he know the rules of what's too dark? And they would be like, true. Well, yo, it's still wrong. Get it fixed, but we're gonna let you slide. And that was it. I was always good money.
Wow. Well, that's very impressive. Yeah, those stickers I don't even know if they matter or work anymore, but that was a definite racket of just like someone's cousin's whatever, someone's uncle, you know, a neighbor. Somehow you were the thing you wanted to do was finagle one of these stickers that was just going to let you
get out,
skate.
Yeah. Had to show the sticker.
That was very.
We had like the little PBA business cards that you had to like, you could, and it was like weird. It was like, cause you have them and like they would tell you not to give them, but like to show it. So they would be like, all right, so you want to put this in your paperwork, and like when the cop asks for your paperwork, you want to fumble over it so that they can notice it, but you don't want to actually hand it to them because they get offended. I'm like, so like, why does it need to be this whole song and dance? Like, can't I just tell them, hey, like my man's is one of your mans? Like, I don't know why I gotta do all this showboating. Now I gotta work on like my crossover with this like paperwork. How do I fake like fumble paper to show this card?
And that's that's really an iffy thing, because the one thing you don't want to be when there's a cop at your window is a little Butterfingers. You know what I mean? You know, that's the worst time to be clumsy.
You know, what are you fumbling over there?
Yeah, that's terrible. If I'm like, I'm going into my glove box to get my paperwork. Oh, whoops. Oh, come on. That's not ideal. Oh boy. Yeah, there's a lot of song and dance just in order to hopefully stay
Yeah.
alive. It's a lot of song and dance.
It's a rough world. But yeah.
It is.
I
Ah,
wanted
gee.
to cover it because obviously it's happening, it's real. But kind of show like our thought process behind it. Um, give people a little peek behind the mirror. Or I don't know,
Right,
of what
yeah.
we do.
There is a way to approach, it definitely is, for lack of a better term, a bummer, but it there in talking about your experiences and sharing about them, however you feel best doing it, uh, hopefully it can, I don't know, help lighten the load of just for a
Yeah.
second, you know, because it's heavy and it feels, to some of us, it feels never ending.
Word.
And so you have to figure out little ways to lighten that so that you don't let it crush you. So that's all. We're just attempting to,
That's
you
all it
know,
is. And also,
yeah,
for the people listening, keep in mind, like, super appreciative of our, ever growing audience. But, a big portion of why me and Shy do this, at least a big portion of why I do this, is because I get to hang out with Shy. Like, I appreciate that y'all are listening, but I'm just having a convo with my homie, and I don't
right.
necessarily want to have a depressing convo with my homie every Tuesday.
Yeah, that's
Like, y'all see you next
yeah,
week
that's
for
no
some
good.
more dark news for 2 hours. Like, real life is hitting me the whole rest of the week. I promise you. So
Yeah.
for 2 hours, I try to find like relatively real news that we can talk about. But
Mm.
yeah, if on occasion I skip something that's going on, it's a little more serious. Know that we know. But
Yeah.
yeah,
We know, and we'll probably talk about it after a couple of
yeah.
weeks when, it's not just directly on our shoulders. When it's moved down to our lower back. When it's a more manageable pain, then we'll discuss it.
The CDC and FDA recommends that the U.S. pause the use of Johnson and Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine over blood clot concerns.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's getting rare out there. Like, the COVID-19 vaccine has reported 6 different cases in the U.S. of of a rare and severe type of blood clot. Keep in mind, for people that have taken it, the 6 reported cases were among 6.8 million doses of the Johnson and Johnson vaccine. So, for the majority of you, you do not have something to worry about, but it is a thing that is out there, and they want to make sure that everyone is safe. All 6 cases occurred, sorry, Sha, among women.
Oh, I already know. I already know.
Ages 18 to 48. The symptoms occurred 6 to 13 days after the vaccination, according to a joint statement on Tuesday. So yeah, like, this is like, what a lot of people feared, unfortunately, right? Like, with the process being sped up. Um,
Yeah, well, here's what I think. Okay, first off, this is to me a little terrifying um because, blood clots can lead to stroke,
yeah.
and me and strokes are like we're doing a delicate dance of trying to dodge each other. Like when someone is walking in the opposite direction of you and you two do that little dance to get out of the way, I feel like that's me and strokes right now. So I'm certainly not trying to hear that. This is a rare type of blood clot. It's 6 women out of 6.8 million doses given. So yeah, I mean, I don't gamble, but yikes, but okay, at least we caught them. They were reported. Uh but I think a thing that a lot of people don't know is that many medicine leads to blood clots.
True.
Uh blood like birth control in particular. Like there's a chance of a blood clot all the time, and like 1 in 1,000
Oh wow.
with birth control. Yeah. So like any like yeah, it's not ideal. Almost all medication have like it's not great. I mean, like I took a medication for my hypertension that said it may not work for black people. So and not that a doctor prescribed that to me. So so, it's not the end all be all, but I'm glad that they're doing more analysis and they want to slow it up or whatever. I mean, this does slow up getting it out to people.
Right.
This definitely is a bummer for those people who just wanted to get the one and done.
Yeah.
But if you've surpassed the 2 weeks after getting the shot, you might be good.
Yeah.
But it is terrifying. But please, if you're out there and you want to say "told you so," stay the fuck away from me, one, because I know you ain't got a shot at all. I don't have all the faith in the world in all of these medicines, but I'm gonna take them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll take this if it's gonna help me not get super sick.
Right.
And I can also not necessarily spread that to others that get others super sick. You know what I mean? Like if it'll do that. So
Hey, I
yikes, but also if ladies, just check your birth control and make sure that you're not also maybe going to get clots from that, because you can.
yeah.
You absolutely
I
can.
appreciated like the effort of like, because normally like what makes the news is, a year later when we catch people doing something wrong. This is a company, an organization that noticed that, hey, yo, I know we said this is cool. We actually noticed something. Let's stop it before it gets out of hand.
Absolutely.
I'll take this all day.
Can you imagine the commercials, like the lawyer commercials in like 2 years' time? Where they're just like, are you just now finding out from me that the reason you had your stroke was because of that COVID vaccine? Maybe let's sue someone over that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd much rather hear this news from doctors saying, oh, let's check this out, than hear it from some ambulance chaser with a jingle. 2 years later.
Yeah, that would be the illest podcast sponsor, yo. Yo, why is Celino and Barnes like sponsoring podcast? That'd be fire.
I wouldn't trust anyone involved. The ads, I wouldn't trust the podcast itself. I wouldn't trust whatever it was I was listening to it on.
Yo, my favorite, I'm glad this is happening, but by far my favorite part of this article was discovering it at the corner store. Like, I heard about this while getting my sandwich this morning, and like hearing people like theorize on it. There's like, oh nah, that's because it's the one shot one. You know what I mean? So it's thicker. You know. Yo, they had me dying. Yo, the hood theories were incredible, shot.
Yo, I mean, honestly, show me it's not.
Yeah, I couldn't even argue it. Like it was such a ridiculously simple explanation. But I was like, yo, real talk, I'm not even sure that's wrong. He's like, yo, it's thicker.
Yeah, I mean, if it's more potent that you only need one shot, and the other ones are like milk, who's to say this one isn't like cream?
Yo, he was saying, he's like, yo, you know what I mean? You get 2 shots with the other ones. This one's one shot, so it ain't even more in volume. So it's thicker. That's what's making the blood clot on the case too much.
Oh wow! Look at that. I mean, that's a science. I don't know if it's the science, but it's a science.
And then he was like, see, they gotta drink alkaline water. That's why I drink. If they drank more alkaline water, it wouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? Get some.
You know what? I've taken to drinking some alkaline water, but I keep calling it electric water.
Okay.
That's not it. I asked my roommate, hey, pick me up a bottle of that electric water. And he's like, All right. I think I know what you're talking about. That's entirely incorrect. And now I live with my grandmother who can't get names right, but I'll get you a bottle of it.
Electric water. Yo, real talk, that's a brand though, shot low key.
It might be,
Real talk, that
but
should
I
be a
wouldn't drink
company.
it. I would not drink electric water if I were
I
you,
guarantee you it
dear
sells.
listeners.
Yo, electric water. Water so good it charges you through the day.
Yeah,
I'm
that
telling
seems
you.
very scary. No, the ads would come very quickly, but it seems also terrifying.
Oh man. Florida firefighter is arrested after photos showed him pointing at a placard for Speaker Pelosi in the U.S. Capitol building. Florida firefighter was arrested for an unlawful entry of a restricted building and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds after a photo surfaced of him wearing a Trump 2020 hat pointing at the placard for Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi inside the U.S. Capitol building. Andrew Williams, a firefighter and paramedic with the Sanford Fire Department, appeared in federal court on Tuesday and was released on $25,000 signature bond.
Okay, so this guy, he did it for the gram and he got arrested.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Okay.
I'm just doing my part of making sure that
Making sure we all know
exactly who
every
this guy
person.
is. Yeah, like real talk. That's the
Yeah.
only reason I did this article shot. I got nothing to share. Just if you see
Yeah.
Andrew Williams,
It's on site. Wow.
we always spread the other stuff. We gotta spread when they do Grease too. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know,
No, you're absolutely
every
right.
time I see something grimy, I make sure to read the full name. You know, I read their job, everything I can. And you lucky I don't know what high school you went to. On God, you would see all that hair.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I'm rooting for all of Andrew Williams' neighbors to get some swings in. So good luck to all y'all.
Wow. Well, I mean, I hope that he lives in a neighborhood where they do want to swing at him.
Fair.
What you hate is if he lives in a neighborhood where they all are going to carry him around on their shoulders for a week.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's you know what? We're just going to be, because nobody did any sort of due diligence or any sort of diligence at the time, and just kind of let everybody in to fuck things
Right.
up. We're going to be hearing these stories trickling out like for the next year of just like, oh, here's another one. We found this guy. He's the guy who pissed in the vase that was in the hallway of the, you know what I mean? Like we're going to every few weeks is going to be another person who's like, well, I had no idea they meant me. Were you there? Yeah.
And guess what? We're going to cover every one of those articles.
That is the War Report promise.
We will get to the
Every time y'all get caught and reported, we're going to be there.
You know it. We out there, baby. Team of two, but that's what we doing.
It's just going to be Gastor standing there with his arms crossed and me with a little notebook writing down the information.
Oh, man. Will Smith and Antoine Fuqua will pull the Emancipation production from Georgia. Georgia has lost a major production because of its newly restricted voting legislation. It was announced on Monday that the new film starring Will Smith and his Westbrook media company have opted to move the production of their forthcoming film Emancipation from the state. At this moment in time, the nation is coming to terms with its history and is attempting to eliminate vestiges. Thank you on that.
Yeah.
Of institutional racism to achieve true racial justice, the pair said in a joint statement obtained by CNN. So yeah, I again, I'm applauding this move here. This is just another one in line of many of the major corporations and people in power that are kind of like letting their money talk in Georgia and stepping away and taking their business out of the state.
I mean, okay, so Georgia has, we lost the baseball all-star
Yep.
game. Great. This is the other, I think, kind of big thing that I've heard about that's been pulled. Some people are upset in Georgia because that mean that it takes away work from,
Yeah.
folks who had no say in
Right.
this, who were unable to vote on it, and who will suffer from these laws. And I get that. And of course that does stink. But um, they tried before to like not give the tax breaks to some of these productions that were coming into
Yeah.
Georgia. That was a few years ago, and so they were just like, "Oh, okay. Well, I think it was like they did some bullshit stuff. A lot of the productions were just like, well, I mean, I don't know if we want to really work here," and they were like, "Well, I mean, we'll pull all the tax breaks for you." And they were like, "Well, you know what? We'll just leave." And then Georgia was like, "Ah, we're just kidding. Look, here are the tax breaks. Please don't leave us. Please don't leave us."
Word.
And so this is a move that has proven itself to be effective before, and it's kind of the only way. I mean, like losing that revenue, though it does seem short-sighted. It is, unfortunately, for people who seem to only care about money.
Yeah.
It is the only way to affect their thoughts on it. I just hope it's a strong enough move to overpower whatever wild shit they believe from Trump, because the whole reason that that's even been passed is from a lie from Trump, right?
Right.
That the election was stolen. Um, and I mean, Trump's election was not stolen. If anyone knows about the stolen election, it's going to be the governor of Georgia who did steal an election. That motherfucker knows how to steal an
Yeah.
election. So if he was like, "Nah, that wasn't stolen," I know what stolen is. So
Yo, real talk. I want to write a fan fiction so bad about that, of like him calling Trump the next day, like you ain't call me. Like this is what I
yeah,
do.
why didn't you? But I mean, like honestly, that's what I thought, that how all that looked when he was calling, when Trump was calling the current Secretary of State, and was just like, "Hey man, why don't you just find these votes for me? I know
Word.
y'all can do it." And that guy was just like, "Well, I mean, I don't, we can't do that. That's against the," and I'm like, "Bruh,
Mm-hmm.
ask your boss how to do it, because that's how he got to where he is and how you got to where you are. Y'all
Facts.
know you could do it, but we beat you at your game, so you can't." And so, I mean, they're trying to figure out new ways to steal. Um, and I like, I hate to see that production leave, but it also does kind of feel like it's
Yeah,
necessary.
it's the move,
Um,
unfortunately. The
yeah,
the only
yeah.
thing that's
So
confused me is, like, how is Mr. Fuqua gonna make Will Smith look like a gangster cop? 'Cause I know that's what he does well, right? Isn't he like the dude from Training Day?
he did do Training
Right.
Day,
So
yes. Uh-huh.
he's Training Day. I know he did Brooklyn's Finest. I know he does Equalizer. He does like films where like he makes all of these like actors like my low key hero for 2 hours.
Why? Because they're because they're like dirty cops?
Yeah, like it's just it's super direct. It's like, all right, like we gonna be honest. Nobody in this job tells the truth. Um,
Okay. Well, here's what I look at. I look at the music videos that they certainly directed before they got into
okay,
movies. So, we're looking at
he got classics, don't he?
my man here, he directed the Gangsta Paradise
Good,
video by
good
Coolio.
start. Good start.
He directed the Sending My Love by Jean.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone working with Jean, good for them. So the Most Beautiful Girl in the World video by Prince.
Okay.
Yeah. He's directed, a couple of videos by Shantae Moore, a mint condition video. Like,
He's got range.
he's done work. Yeah, he's definitely got some work.
He
He also Ew, he directed that Citizen Soldier video by Three Doors Down. That must have been he must have had some bills to pay or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I also saw he worked with Praz in 1999. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who's not working with Praz in '99 though? Everybody's got to do a little Praz time. Everybody's got to do a little Praz time.
Oh man. Well, I'm applauding him. He's gonna bring the best out of Will. At least in.
You think Will could be a dirty cop? He could be a dirty cop.
I really think he could pull that off. I feel like he's due for that. I thought that's why I was excited about him in the DC films, because I was like, oh, we gonna see like edgy, like Will like be a villain, and they still made him like a likable guy. I was like, this is
yeah. There was a conversation on Twitter last week where people were comparing the range of Will Smith to Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
As to which one had more range. And we are speaking well of Will Smith, and he's great, but like Jamie Foxx has the range, though, right? She has the range. She understands the assignment and all the other ways that they put it on Twitter. But yeah, so whatever the original tweet was just like, y'all out here trying to tell me Jamie Foxx has the range of Will Smith. And it's like, yeah, no, he has more than the range of Will Smith. Like I'm still trying to believe that Will Smith could be like a true dirty cop.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas I absolutely believe all Jamie Foxx has to do is decide where his hairline's going to fall. And that's going to do a large part of the heavy lifting for the character.
I would think so much about Will Smith if he would just convince me that one of his characters wouldn't tuck their shirt in. Like, I feel like every character he's played in the movie as an adult tucks their shirt in. Like, he's like that, like a really put together adult. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's their like I feel like that's the Will Smith he is in real life. Like, he's like really like if his shirt is untucked, it was a shirt that was meant to be untucked. Like, it only goes like 1 inch past.
Well, here's the thing. I think he can walk around with an untucked shirt, but if I were to see him in Tim's, I'd go, I don't know, Will. You feel like just a strictly sneakers dude.
Yeah. Like the Tim's he wore in Men in Black when he was chasing the alien. I didn't believe for a second he was a New York cop. Like, there was no way. No way. I believe, like, I like him. I just don't believe you would wear this clothes.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just can't. Yeah. I can't see him in Tim's. I see him as being, he probably could be very scary in like you didn't see it coming way.
And that's why I'm excited for, because I feel like the first time he plays a villain, he's been setting us up for 50 years. Like the first time he does it, it's over. Like, no one's gonna see that coming. I want it to happen. I'm rooting for it. Mind you, I have the opposite problem. I don't think anyone would believe I would play a character who tucks his shirt in. Like, that just wouldn't be me.
Yeah, no. There's nothing about you that says
I don't do it. It's not my range.
Like, honestly, I think your shirts wear Timberlands. Like, that's kind of what you put out there.
It's all good. We know our place. I always think of Redman with these situations. Like, that man made 10 classic albums talking about weed and weed only, and it's amazing.
Just know your role.
Some people, you gonna explore a lot of different stories. Some people tell the same stories a million different ways. Both of them are equally valid ways of being an artist. That's what.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Will
has
done. He's done it great. But I am rooting for him to be a supervillain just once.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We do. We believe in you, Will. We're still fans.
There you go. Make it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jamie definitely wins that debate. That is definitely a strong suit.
Right. Exactly.
China hits Alibaba with a record $2.8 billion fine for behaving like a monopoly. That's right. China has ordered Alibaba to pay an 18.2 billion yen, equivalent of $2.8 billion fine after antitrust regulators concluded that the online shopping giant had been behaving like a monopoly. So it learned today what we've known for the last 10 years. The fine is the equivalent to 4% of Alibaba's sales in China alone
Shit.
in 2019.
Hold on. Wait, what is Alibaba?
You never rocked with Alibaba? Yo.
No, that's where you order clothes?
Yo, Alibaba is where you order everything, Sha. Everything. Like Alibaba is like Amazon, but in bulk. So like if you want to sell like mugs, Alibaba got like, yo, we got 100 mugs for 15 cents, my G. But they coming from China, so you're going to get them in 6 weeks. You know?
Okay. See, I think my issue is I've never needed that much of anything. I think that's why. Yeah, no, I feel like if I saw something that was Alibaba, I would just think it was one of those like clothing stores where they're like, look, we've got these big cozy sweaters. And you go on and you're like, yeah, that is a big cozy sweater. And you order like the extra large and they send you the extra large. And it's literally for like an American doll or something. Like it's not for a real human. And you're like, this is the extra large? What's the sizing? So I think in my mind, that's where Alibaba has been.
There's a little bit
like,
of that.
Oh, okay.
There is a little bit of that. It's just like, it's like Amazon, like, but if you can negotiate, you know, like you can order one of a thing. It's just that there's like a deal if you order in bulk. And also there's like multiple people selling. So like if you find something like, oh, I like this, somebody else is selling the same thing for a little less. And like you could just like look around and negotiate. The website kind of looks legitimate. Like it looks like it's pretending to be a real site. And you only buy from it because you know so many people have bought from it. They're like, all right, it has to be real. But like the first time Alibaba was popping, nobody was comfortable with how the website looked. But yeah, they've slowly learned web design.
Look better.
But yeah, Alibaba is most definitely a monopoly. This is where like every time you see someone like those ads telling you how to like run an Amazon business,
right?
This is where they get their product from. Stuff like this.
Okay. Yeah. I just Googled Alibaba, and you know they have questions. People also ask these questions, and the questions are: is it safe to buy from Alibaba? Is Alibaba owned by China? Why is Alibaba so cheap? Can I get scammed on Alibaba? I'm like, none of these really comfort me in a way that I feel good about buying anything from here.
I knew something was wrong with the site. Where like I've had real debates of like, I need one mug, and like you'll go on Amazon and it'll be like, you know, oh, that mug is $5, and then you'll go on Alibaba and like it'll be like, yo, we got 50 mugs for 8 cents each, but you gotta buy all 50. And like it's such a ridiculously good deal that you gotta think about it. Like
no, you don't. You need one mug. You don't need 50 mugs. I don't have to think about that at all.
8 cents a
like,
mug?
No, I don't need. No, what are you doing? And I'm not a great salesperson, so I'm not going to buy 50 and then flip 45 of them. Like it's not going to work. Also, who knows when these mugs are coming, right? So you don't know when the mugs are coming. You don't know what quality the mug is going to be, and those things could be straight lead.
Yeah, they
you know
trash.
what I mean?
I ain't gonna front.
Yeah, and then you're stuck with 50 of them, and you got to try now. Now your whole apartment's in danger. Just buy the one that you only needed one mug.
Yo, but like it makes you like reconsider. Yo, like I forgot what we was looking for, but like I know we went down like a whole rabbit hole of like, yo, we need one of these. But if we get 50, it only costs $1 more, and everybody get these for Christmas. Like it was some shit like that. Like Alibaba makes you reconsider like purchasing decisions. If you're willing to be patient and wait 6 weeks, you will have so many of those things.
Oh yeah, no, then I'm not fucking with Alibaba, not at all.